Welcome you all to this Cryo-EM course. Today we are going to discuss about that diffraction pattern and how what is the relationship between the images and their diffraction pattern. If we want to convert any image to diffraction pattern, or from the diffraction pattern if we want to get a 2-dimensional images, how we can get it. So, before going to that, I want to discuss little bit about that image formation in the microscope. I already mentioned that, but it will be better to discuss little bit more about that one. So, it will be clear to all of you. So, in microscope what is happening. So, if we just consider there is a sample here, if we just consider there is a sample, right, and or maybe we will use it. So, something easy. So, you just consider that there is a 3 different object is there. So, one is the square, and then second one is the circle, and third one is the star, and we are expecting a image. So, there is a ray is coming, all these rays are there. So, when these rays will come, they scattered with that sample, and then they will split into 3 halves. So, here so it will split into 3 halves. Okay. So, this is the place from where the beam will converged. Okay. So, next I will use this blue color to draw that image, it will help us, and then this is the red color. So, 3 different object, and we are expecting to get an image in this image plane. So, as I mentioned, this is our sample area, right, and then this is our focus lens or objective lens, whatever we say. So, that is going to focus, and when they interacted with the sample, they scattered in a different angle, and now they are going to form an image. So, when they are going to form an image, that we have to consider here how we are getting that images. So, I told you that first plane where we will get that first image, that is called the back focal plane of the microscope, that is called the back plane of microscope. Okay. So, we already know that part, right. So, now first thing first we will draw this one, this is will come straight. Okay. Now, this is the black ray, this will come somewhere and merge here, and this is the red light. Just a minute. So, this is the black ray that will go through here and merge here, and now this is the red go through here and merge somewhere here, and you can see it is giving a enlarged view of this entire image. So, your sample is basically, this is our sample. Within that sample we have those important features. This is the red box is our sample, and then in this box we have one square, one circle, and one star, and that we are going to image here. Now, first point you can see all the straight rays are coming together and merge in one particular point. So, what about rest of the wave? So, one of the wave here that will come here and merge here, and this one it will come here and merge in this particular point, right. Now, the same thing is true here when we have this particular wave, this wave will go through and merge somewhere here, right. So, this particular wave, I will just use that red. So, this red will go So, this should be my red ray, that is I am using here that red. So, that it will go through here and merge here, and then there is a other rays that will also come here and merge. Now, in this particular case, you can see there is a converging point here and here. In both the cases, if I just consider that blue ray, it will come like that, it will converge somewhere here and then converge in this particular point here, what will give us an image here. So, now this red star we are getting here enlarged, then this blue we are getting here, and this black box we are getting here. So, that is our image now. So, if our sample is this small and at the end we are getting this is our image and very enlarged image. Currently, we are interested about this converging point where you can see there is a 3 different color rays, that okay, if we just consider this central point, what we have, one blue ray, one black and one red. So, here we are getting a spot. This is not an image, that informations are coming from the star, the circle and the square. Same thing is happening where here when they are scattering and converging in one particular point, some information this scattered very strongly, this scattered very strongly, and they merge far away from the center. So, they are staying away from the center and converging in one particular point, and the information is coming from the star, this circle and this square. And the same thing is happening here also, that information they are scattered far away, and the scattered electron, when there is a more and more scattered electron, it will come from like that, like that. So, they will converge somewhere here. So, you can see the spots are going far away when there is a scattering angle small, very large, and then we are recording those as a diffraction pattern. And in this diffraction pattern, what we are recording? We are recording information from all the parts here, that there is a, this is a, if you just consider, you can see 3 different types of waves are converged in one particular point. 3 different types of wave means, one wave it is coming from this particular part, one wave is this and one wave is this. Same thing if I just mark this one and this, 3 waves converging in this particular point. So, when I am talking about a complicated sine function, so something like that. So, now you can see there is a multiple waves are converged in one particular point when they are giving that diffraction pattern, right, diffraction pattern here. And this diffraction pattern means multiple waves are coming together and converged and giving this diffraction pattern. And now, if we just go further, if wave propagates further and record, we will record as an image here from that diffraction pattern. So, from this diffraction pattern we can tell that this will be a very complicated sine or cosine curve, and all are coming together. So, now if we want to understand that individual spot, we have to split them into a different type of sine wave that I already discussed with you, that there will be only difference will be their amplitude and the frequency, right. So, we already discussed these things, that okay, there will be a frequency change, there will be a frequency change, this will be a variable, that it will 1, here 1, then 2 and like that, and also the amplitude will be changing, that A1, B1, A2, B2 and so on. Now, when we understand those things, we are converting those sine waves to their amplitude square, and that we are plotting in our x axis. If you recall properly, when there is this cosine curve based on their frequency, we are plotting them here. If it is a sine curve. If we just want to plot, we will plot it like this. If we want to plot this one, how we can plot? So, based on the frequency, this particular curve based on the frequency 1, 2, that I am plotting this one. So, when we are marking like this, that means there is only a very bright white spot. So, now do you understand why we are talking about the Fourier decomposition and how we are trying to correlate them. So, we are getting this diffraction pattern. Diffraction pattern means a very complicated function which we can simplify using this, and from this simplified wave, if we try to plot them, we will get a very bright spot that we are looking here. So, that is the reason if we are getting that images, if we do the Fourier transform, we will get the diffraction pattern. And whenever we will do, this is called the Fourier transform of the image and get the diffraction pattern, which we can simplify like that for other analysis like convolution, cross correlation, and many other application will be there. We are not going to that details, but this is the correlation that we are taking this image, we are doing the Fourier transform to get the diffraction pattern, and from there we are doing rest of the analysis, and this is the relation between these two. Let us come back to a 2D image and see how these diffraction patterns are coming. Here this is a very complicated diffraction pattern. You can see it in back focal plane, because it is not a very simple way that only 1, 2 or 3 waves are coming and giving you this kind of pattern. So, this is a multiple waves are there, and then we are getting this complicated pattern. So, we will start with a very simple wave, how it is forming the images and what is their transform, and then we will go to the complicated image. But here I am just representing this entire thing. So, it will be clear to you how we can correlate image with the diffraction pattern and then decomposition of the sine wave, as well as if we want to decompose any function with a sine and cosine wave, how do we represent those things in a diffraction pattern. Okay. So, now come back here. So, here I am showing you a 2-dimensional image. So, here we have a 2-dimensional image and their transform, the diffraction pattern you can say. You can see a 2-dimensional image here. What do you have here? We have a very bright spot and then some black spot, and then again there is a bright spot. And if I want to represent these things, how can I represent? I will say, okay, bright spot means I just use the plus amplitude. So, whenever we are plotting something, if you remember, so if we are plotting a sine, so we are telling this is plus amplitude and this is minus amplitude. So, I am using a sine curve here. Then this is black means negative, again it is going up, again it is going down. So, you can see that this image I can represent as a sine curve, right, going up and down, and from there you can tell the frequency. So, if you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, frequency is 10. If we just consider within this distance how many oscillations are there. Now, I want to plot this one. If I want to plot this one, as I told previously, we discussed these things that okay, sine cosine curve, how they are oscillating, and based on that we are plotting them. In this particular case, this is a sine curve, it is going, and frequency wise 10. So, I will just consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, same thing in this direction also. So, what we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, we will plot this one to bright spot. Then finally, at the end, when the when we are going to record those information, definitely we will not see this arrow there. What we will see, based on their intensity, we will see a bright spot here. At the center there will be always a bigger bright spot, and here we will get a 2 bright spot. What about the next one? Now this is the same, but in y direction. If we just remember that in y direction this wave is going. So, this is, if I want to draw this, so it will go like that. Okay. This will be a sine and cosine, this is not very straight. So, it should go very straight. So, idea is that there is a plus and so there is a oscillation, but oscillation will be in y direction. Now, if we want to do the same exercise here also, what we have to do, we have to count that. Okay. So, because here if you start counting these things starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, we have to count total 9, 1 not in x axis, on y axis, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and same way. So, there is a oscillation here. So, we can plot those things like this, but basically when we are going to record this one, we cannot see that arrow anymore, right. We will not see any arrow here, we will see only a very bright spot there. So, same things we have to plot it here. So, we will plot it like that. Okay, we will get a very bright spot here in y axis, and center there will be a very bright larger bright spot. So, from this oscillation we can tell that okay, how many waves we are, where will be the position of this diffraction pattern, and based on this brightness of this wave, that what is the amplitude of this wave, that if we just go like that. Based on this amplitude we can plot that okay, what will be the intensity here. So, this is how we can determine the diffraction pattern. So, this is a very simplest one. Now, let us see the actually how we can record those images. So, if there is any 2-dimensional image, those are the 2-dimensional image whatever we are. So, these are 2D images, and these are diffraction pattern of those images we are recording. In this particular case, here it is written that k0 is 1, the frequency is 1, 3, 5 and 7. So, you can just count those things and you can get it. So, basically this will be, I will say that okay, here the frequency will be, this one is 5, if you just count this one, this just ignore this at this moment. So, here you will just focus on this frequency, that here the frequency is 1, you just count frequency will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, here frequency will be 5 k0, then here it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, 10 k0 and like that. So, here you have to just count that up and down symbol, that is the 1, it will go all the way here, up and down again, up and down again, up and down again. How many are completing? So, here you can see this is one cycle, it is complete, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So, frequency I am considering 5. The same here also, that okay, you count that this is one wave, 2. So, like that you have to count. So, 1 ups and down, 1 full up and down, B you will consider 1 full wavelength, and then how many oscillations are there. So, based on that we can consider that frequency here 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Okay. So, this is how it is going. Now from this one we want to plot this frequency is very important here. Based on that you can find out the bright spot, where your bright spot will be. So, if you look at in this particular one here, down, up and going. So, now if you look this bright spot here, if you look at in this area, what you can see, there is a central one bright spot is there, one very bright spot is there, and then the nearby another two bright spots are there. Now, if you convert this one also, you can see one bright spot at the center, and then x axis you will get another two bright spot in this. Now, if you look at this one, you can see there is a other two bright spots are here, and so on. So, you can see based on the frequency those spots are going far away from the center. So, this is how we can represent these things, that if I have an image here, we can convert their diffraction pattern here, and if the frequency will increase, you can see the center part one bright spot will be there, and then those spots, rest of the spot you can find out in a far away from the center. Okay, this is a more complicated example I am giving. All are moving in a same direction. So, here this is one up, this is one down. Okay. So, if you look at here, what you can see, center you can see one bright spot, center you can see one bright spot, and then very nearby area you can get other two spot. So, in this is the signal and transform. So, here this is the image, and when it is transformed you will get this kind of diffraction pattern. So, here the frequency is less. So, they are very close to each other near the center area. Now, if we have a complicated wave function, if there is a one wave is there, and I am merging one more wave here and the same pattern, and they will just merge together, and then they will give you this kind of complicated diffraction pattern. If we go further, so this is, you can see much more complicated image, this particular one and this particular one, where there was a one wave will be this one, and then there are different frequency, the same type of wave that is going in that sine curve it is forming, and then multiple waves are combined together, which will give you a more complicated diffraction pattern, and based on the frequency of this wave it will start spreading far away from the center. Same thing here also, you can see much more complicated wave and their diffraction pattern here. So, I will show you one image how we are getting this kind of complicated diffraction pattern. Here I am showing you a different angle, that okay, so far we just saw this kind of image when they are just moving in one particular direction like that. But what about that if it is moving in a different direction? So, if the direction is this angle, then what will happen? So, here how many waves are there? You have to count it, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, frequency is 4 if we just count starting 1, 2, 3, 4. So, if you just consider this one also in a, but it is in a different angle. So, if we want to plot their transformation, so we have to plot it like that, center spot will be this one, and then plotting will be these two direction. So, let me come back the next slide, which will help us to understand these things. So, here there is a complex 2D image and their transformation. What we are doing here, we are just counting that wave. So, wave is propagating in this particular direction. right. Now it has the frequency, you have to count one, how many ups and downs are there or how many oscillations are there. So if you just count these oscillations, it will start from this, okay, and so on. Now the direction, we know that this is the direction. So if we just consider this is the x, the direction will be this and this. Okay. Now based on the frequency, if we just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So again 1, 2, 3, 4. So one spot will come here and one spot will come here, and the central part will be a large white bright spot. Now what about the next one? Next we are doing it in a same way, that okay, now the major change is that your frequency. What is the frequency here? The direction is this now, and the frequency wise, if we just consider, it will go all the way down, up, down, up. How many are there? 1, 2. If we count from this direction, 1 and 2. So the frequency is 2. So y axis we are considering that 1, 2. So frequency is 2. So central part it will be like this, and then this is coming from the y this direction. So we are trying to plot it like this, and we have the frequency 1, 2. So we have a bright spot here, the k equals to +2 and k equals to -2, because we are using that frequency to plot that. Now there is a little bit complicated wave. Why it is little bit complicated? You can see the ups and downs are increasing drastically. So here you can see the wave is going in this direction, same, and then you have to count how many ups and downs or how many times it oscillates. So if you start from 1, so total 18. So if this is 18, now we can plot, this is the center, this wave it will be distributed in this direction, and we can count total 18 peaks here, and we are frequency is 18, and then we can plot those two spots. Now if we merge two types of wave, so this is the wave and this is the wave together, what kind of images do we get? Now you can see we are getting a much more complicated wave, where you can count it that the first image what I showed here, this is your first image and this is your second image. We are merging them and we are getting this is the resultant image. So the frequency wise you can see from the first image, this is the brightest spot, this is the brightest spot. So there is a two oscillation, one, so starting from here and then here. So two oscillation, and then in the same direction we have another 18 oscillation. If you just start counting this thing, then when we merge them together we get this kind of spot. So we will get this kind of more complicated spot. So if there is a 2-3 images if we merge, so here what we have total 3 images we are merging. So we should start, this one is our third image. So in this particular case you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 oscillation, then you can see 1 and 2 oscillation, then again total 18 oscillations here, which we are plotting here. So one is that this direction, y direction, where frequency is 2, where there is a other two images where frequency is 4, this is frequency is 2 and this is frequency is 18, and we are getting this complicated image. So I am just showing you this one and then I will finish this part. So our first image is this one, where the oscillation is 2, k equals to 2, and we are getting two bright spots, central there will be a bright spot and then there is a two bright spot. Then we have another 18 oscillations where direction is this, and we are getting a two bright spot here, and center there is another bright spot. Now this is the third wave that I showed you last one. The third wave oscillations is 4. So, k equals to 4, we are getting a bright spot at center, we will get a bright spot, and then we are getting 2 bright spot in this particular direction because wave is in this direction, right. So, this one wave is in this direction, that is why we are plotting in this. This one wave is in this direction, that is why we are plotting in this. Now, if we merge all of them together, we will get a diffraction pattern of all them together. So, we will get total 6 spot. The central spot will be very big because all of them has a very big central spot, and then based on the frequency we will plot those and we will get an very complicated image. So, now you understand when you will get a 10 images, that is this kind of complicated image, and this complicated image is combination of different types of sine and cosine curve, and those sine and cosine curve we just plotted their amplitude in the diffraction pattern, and when the combination of all of them are giving this kind of diffraction pattern, if we just go from this diffraction pattern we will get this particular image. If we just take this image and do the Fourier transform, we will get this diffraction pattern. So, they are all interconnected with each other. So, that is the same image we are representing the diffraction pattern, or the diffraction pattern we are converting it to the image, and those image or diffraction pattern we can explain using the sine and cosine curve. That is the reason those things are interconnected, and we have to know how they are interconnected with each other. So, this major part I am going to finish it today, this diffraction pattern and image formation. Then we will go for the real sample preparation and real imaging. So, this 2 to 3 classes are required to connect those image formation with the diffraction pattern, or diffraction pattern how we will do the decomposition of different kind of complicated function, because in the later stage when you will do the data processing, all these things we have to use it, but there is no mathematical details will be discussed. And the next class probably I will talk little bit about the diffraction pattern related stuff, and then we will discuss about the sample preparation. And thank you all for your attention.